It's 1919. World War I, a terrible and destructive war, is finally over. The world is broken, both physically and emotionally. Leaders from all over the world meet in Paris. They have a huge job to build a lasting peace. The result is the Treaty of Versailles, a document meant to stop future wars. But instead of healing, this treaty causes new problems. Signed just outside Paris, the Treaty of Versailles becomes a symbol of both hope and anger. The winners, mostly France, Great Britain, and the United States, decide the rules. Germany, blamed for starting the war, faces harsh punishments. Germany loses land, its army is shrunk, and it has to pay a lot of money. Article 231, the war guilt clause, is especially upsetting. It says Germany is completely to blame for the war. This humiliates the German people and makes them very angry. The treaty also hurts Germany's economy. The payments ruin the German economy, causing huge inflation and making many people poor. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to create peace, actually creates anger and instability. The harsh terms, especially blaming Germany for the war and making them pay so much, create the perfect conditions for dangerous ideas to grow. This sets the stage for more trouble and eventually another terrible world war. The 1920s sees the rise of a new and dangerous political idea, totalitarianism, growing from the ashes of war, fueled by bad economies and social unrest. Totalitarian governments take over in Italy, Germany, and the Soviet Union. These governments, though different in their beliefs, share some things. They reject democracy, take away individual rights, and push aggressive national agendas. In Italy, Benito Mussolini, a former journalist, creates the first fascist state. Mussolini's Italy is all about extreme nationalism, a strong military, and worship of the leader, Il Duce. Mussolini quickly and violently takes control. His black shirts terrorize his enemies and silence anyone who disagrees with him. Italy, under Mussolini's rule, starts taking over other lands, trying to rebuild the old Roman Empire. In Germany, the humiliation of losing the war and the economic problems of the 1920s help Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party rise to power. Hitler, a powerful speaker, uses the anger over the Treaty of Versailles and people's fears to his advantage. He promises to make Germany great again, rebuild the army, and create a 1,000-year Reich. At the same time, in the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin takes complete control. Stalin, a cruel dictator, kills his enemies and creates a government of fear. He forces farmers to give up their land, which leads to terrible famines. Under Stalin, the Soviet Union becomes isolated from the rest of the world. In the 1930s, a series of international problems pushed the world closer to war. Totalitarian governments in Japan, Italy, and Germany, feeling strong at home and seeing weakness in democracies, start taking over other countries. The League of Nations, created after World War I to prevent war, is too weak to stop them. In 1931, Japan invades Manchuria, a part of China rich in resources. The League of Nations criticizes the invasion but does nothing to stop it. This shows how weak the League is and encourages other countries to act aggressively. In 1935, Italy invades Ethiopia. The Ethiopian emperor asks the League of Nations for help, but they do nothing. The League puts sanctions on Italy, but it's too little, too late. Italy conquers Ethiopia, showing that the League cannot protect anyone. In 1936, a civil war starts in Spain. Germany and Italy help the nationalist side, while the Soviet Union gives some help to the Republicans. The Spanish Civil War becomes a practice ground for new weapons and war strategies. The world watches nervously as Hitler, after taking over Austria and Czechoslovakia, turns his attention to Poland. Great Britain and France tried to avoid war by giving Hitler what he wanted, but this policy of appeasement has failed. Hitler thinks that democracies are weak and ignores their warnings. He gets ready for war. On September 1st, 1939, Germany attacks Poland with blitzkrieg tactics. This is the start of World War II. Great Britain and France declare war on Germany 2 days later. The Second World War, the most destructive war in history, has begun. The world is thrown into darkness for 6 long years. The failure of diplomacy to stop World War II is a huge tragedy. The lessons of World War I, the importance of working together, the dangers of appeasement, they were all ignored. The world didn't learn from its mistakes, and the results are terrible. The start of World War II is a turning point in history. It reminds us how easily peace can be broken. how dangerous unchecked aggression is, and how terrible hatred and intolerance can be. The war changes the world, shaping the 20th century and beyond.